Welcome to the Hometown Bluegrass Show with Kentucky boys Tim Batts and Josh Williams. Tim is a music promoter, radio host, and passionate bluegrasser, and Josh is a 20-time Bluegrass Guitar Player of the Year. This podcast is all about bluegrass music, where they swap stories, crack jokes, and pick on each other. Josh even plays a song or two in each episode. Plus, they sit down with bluegrass artists and insiders for interviews you won't hear anywhere else. It's music, it's laughs, it's all things bluegrass, right here on the Hometown Bluegrass Show. Now, here are your hosts, Tim Batts and Josh Williams.
Hey everybody, here we are, Tim Batts and Josh Williams.
Hello everybody.
Episode 112 coming at you for the Hometown Bluegrass Show. And just a little preface, we're both tired.
Preface?
So we may not be as funny as we normally are.
You're tired.
You're not tired?
I'm not too tired.
Oh, okay.
Yesterday I might have been tired.
Gotcha.
But.
Well, that's all right. I'll try to perk up.
Perk it up, son.
Perk it up. Gotcha. Well, we're excited to bring you another great episode. Got lots of cool things that's been going on. And it's a hot summertime here in Western Kentucky. And we've been battling the heat this week, but trying to stay cool.
It's cooling down a little bit, I think, now.
A little break today, so that's good. And 3 days in a row where the heat index was 110 or greater. So, yeah, that's not fun for a fat boy in the summer. So, it's...
that's not fun for anybody, man. That's just brutal.
But we're surviving and thriving and... doing our thing. So we're excited about bringing you this episode. We're going to talk to Mr. Joe Mullins here in a little while and talk to him, have him as our guest here on episode 112. And you ever played with Joe?
Yeah, I've done some studio work with Joe.
Have you?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, and I can't remember if we've actually played on stage or not. I want to say that we probably have, but... if we have, it's been a while. But I was on the Industrial Strength Bluegrass album.
Yeah, that's right. Yes. Yeah, great album, by the way.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Fun recording session.
Absolutely. But we're going to talk to him, and in the meantime, we're going to catch you guys up with what's going on with us. We're, as of right now, this is our plan to do our last audio only podcast. We're going to try video next week and see how that goes if we don't break the cameras. So
I got to thinking about that. You mentioned you wasn't sure how long the batteries would run on those cameras. We may need to just have them things plugged into the wall. Do they have a jack on them that you can plug it directly into the wall?
Yeah, we can probably figure something out on that. So
yeah, we may need to.
Yeah, but we're going to try to have Mark Rogers with McEwen Guitar Picks on as our first video guest. He's a fairly local guy to us here. He lives around Murray, Kentucky, and we're all right here in Western Kentucky. So we try to get him over and see if we can get him as our first guinea pig on video. So,
yeah.
I don't know. We may have to get his wife, Deborah. He's got more like us, a face for radio. So
yeah, she might want to come along and
be the eye candy of the video.
Yeah, yep. Might be good.
That's right. Yep, for sure. So, but I guess I'm tired. I never do fancy gigs like you, but I did one last night, and so
how'd it go?
Went pretty good, man. I was asked to do a solo bluegrass show thing for Viking Cruise Line. So it was an overnight riverboat cruise. They docked in Paducah, and so I went and caught the boat and rode it to Cape Girardeau, Missouri, and did 2 45-minute solo sets last night. They just wanted some, since they were in Kentucky and docked in Kentucky, they wanted a little bluegrass song and story thing. So I just did a few original songs and a few things like that. So, but anyway, it was fun. I enjoyed it. The crowd seemed to enjoy it. So,
you said something yesterday about it being bluegrass historical type of thing. Well, how did that go?
Well, it wasn't really the history as much of I just told brief history of how bluegrass started, but basically it was more, I think they wanted more stories of bluegrass songs that told a story,
Oh,
so
yeah.
that was more along the lines of what it was. But Yeah, there was like 400 people on this boat, and so it was a very nice boat.
What boat were you on?
The Viking Mississippi.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't realize that they had their own boats on the river.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, nice boats.
Wow.
Yeah, very nice. And so yeah, it was a really nice. They called it the living room where I performed. Real nice area there. They had normal performers apparently regularly, because there was like a grand piano and a drum kit and a electric upright bass, and an area there where people perform, and the big living room area and lots of seating. And so anyway, it was cool.
Nice.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
Nice. I did that a few years back. It wasn't on Viking. It was American Cruises, and we were on the Delta Queen, and we rode from Louisville to Paducah.
Yeah.
So that was pretty fun.
Yeah,
that was an overnight stay too, and it was a cool little thing, man.
Yeah. Yeah, they asked me to do 5 of those this year. That was the first one. The other 4 are coming up in October and November. So glad to get that first one done. So now I know what to expect.
How'd you feel on there is what I want to know. Because I know your history in moving
vehicles.
of sorts.
I get motion sickness pretty easily and have for years. And but it wasn't too bad. I was nervous because when we got there, when you're going down the river and you look out the sides, and things moving, as long as I just didn't look out the windows straight ahead. And so I thought, man, when I get up there to sing, I was faced towards the back of the boat. And so I thought, am I going to get sick? Well, luckily the first show was 7:15. And as soon as they announced me, they have electric blinds. They closed the blinds.
Oh.
So I was good. And then they opened them when I was done. And then the second show, it was dark. They did close them again, but it was dark after that. But it was really cool because when the first show ended, I had like a 45-minute break, and they were just hitting the Olmsted Lock there, which is right next to Ballard County where we are now, So it was kind of cool because it was like, oh, wow, I'm right here at the Ballard County Game Reserves right there, And so we got to lock through the Olmsted lock. And then about the time that got done, it was time to do again. And then when we got done, we were just coming into Wycliffe at the Confluence when I got done my second set. And so it was really cool. It was pretty neat. So, of course, you couldn't really see anything, which I didn't need to see because I see it every day. But anyway.
Yeah. Well, and it's river, too, so it's not like it's going to be beautiful scenes.
Right, exactly, yeah. It's just for people from Wisconsin who wanted to know where the Ohio ran into Mississippi, then they enjoyed it. So,
well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
But it was cool. But, man, you were busy, too. Good Lord.
Yeah, I've had a busy week, man. So started off Monday, I was in the studio with Miss Rhonda Vincent, which she's working on a new project, and I'm excited that she called me to be a part of it, and got a lot of great songs on there with a lot of great folks, so it's going to be a good record for her.
Were you just doing some session work, or are you going to be like announced as part of the album? I mean,
no, nothing like that. She wanted just some extra, musicianship type of stuff on there. So she called me, of course, like normal. Unless there's some big reason I can't do something. Right.
You're never going to tell her no.
I'm never going to tell her no. Yeah. So, and she knows that. So she always works that to her advantage. I know.
Right.
So, and just like that, I'll be on the Opry with her tomorrow night and Friday night. And then the band Southern Legacy will be in Blue Ridge, Georgia, at Ridge Jam this weekend. So it'll be a full week.
Oh, wow!
But a good one.
Yeah, we recording this on a Wednesday, and they come out on Fridays, and so you got a busy next few days. So,
I do, yeah,
for sure. Well, that's cool.
Yeah, it will be, but it'll be good. It's good to get back around the Southern Legacy boys. So, and a lot of cool stuff happening with us right now. We picked up a new sponsorship with Myers Pickups. We're excited about that.
Oh,
so
cool.
I'll be receiving a new mic that I'll be using on the guitar, wireless, and it'll be cool, man. It'll be nice to be able to have some swag like that and use it and
Where are they based out of?
I don't know. I know very little about them. But I will be learning all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm sure probably next week when we do this, I'll have a lot of great stuff to say about them.
This is the big official grand announcement, folks. So stay tuned for more information.
Yeah, absolutely.
Coming your way. So, but well, that's cool. That's awesome. Then you guys announced on social media you're going back to Ireland.
We are, yes.
That's
cool. That
cool.
was just finalized. We will be going back to Ireland.
Not over St. Patty's Day.
Not over St. Patty's Day this time.
Yeah.
Which, don't get me wrong, that was really cool to be able to be over there for that, But we'll be going in April this time. And they're talking like there could be a couple of times that we'll be over there this year. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, so I'll have all the information soon. I have some of it now. I haven't really read over most of it, but we'll probably be doing a commercial or something to advertise for it. And but yeah, it's going to be a little bit different than it was last time. Of course, a month later, so it should be a little warmer. Mm-hmm. And then last year we ended up having quite a few intense bus rides during the trip. So
What do you mean by intense?
well, just long. I mean, when you're on a bus with 30 people, 40 people, and you're on the bus for 5 hours or 6 hours.
Gosh.
That's a huge drive for over there too. Most of the time, people over there are not used to the drives that we have over here. You know? So, that amount of time on a bus was pretty unheard of.
After your long flight over there? And all that? Lord, have
But
mercy.
I mean, the first few nights we were, pretty stationary. We didn't really travel much. It was a couple of different stops. There was a few times on the trip it was, stay a couple of nights in one place and then go to the next place, stay a couple of nights. But then there was also times when it was, one night here, one night there. So, but this time is going to be a lot more streamlined, a lot more evenings in the same place or nights at the same place.
Oh, good.
So yeah, I'll make sure to
Not
have
as much travel once you get there.
Yes, exactly. I think they said the longest bus ride this time is going to be about 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours. So that'll be a big improvement.
Yeah.
And so I'll make sure that we get all of the information together and
Yeah.
be able to tell everybody about it. I do know the dates. The dates are April 24th through May the 2nd.
Oh, wow. That's later than I thought.
Yeah. So,
Hopefully it will be warmer. I know you guys were cold last time.
yeah. And I think there's 30 spots available. This one's, like I say, we're going to be doing mostly, like I said earlier, much more relaxed. But definitely doing more of like the southern part of Ireland and the stunning west coast of Ireland. So, so a lot of that kind of stuff. There'll still be stays at castles and historic estates. The history and there is a brand new thing that we're doing this year, which is a boat tour and 2-night island stay just off of the coast of Ireland.
Wow.
Yeah, so
That's cool.
that'll be a lot of fun.
Heck yeah. Well, if you were looking for a trip of a lifetime and you're a bluegrass fan, this is the way to go. So you need to book your tickets now.
Yes, yeah, and I don't have all of that kind of information as far as what the cost will be yet.
Yeah.
But when I do, we'll make sure to
heck yeah.
have all of that info and get it going. So right now it's just kind of we're just now, like I say, it was last week when the deal was kind of struck up. So
Yeah.
we want to spend this week just getting the information out there, and hopefully we'll get And we're not looking for different folks. Like if anybody that went with us last year wants to come along on the trip with us, then that's what we want. We want the familiar faces, but we'd love to have some new faces too. You know, so I mean, like I say, the spots are limited. So
how many people go? About 40?
Well, there'll be us, and I think there's 30 spots.
30 spots.
Yeah. So whoever ends up, you know, come. Like the guys bring their wives and stuff. So yeah, it would be roughly about 40 people total.
Yeah. Cool.
So yeah, man, that's exciting. That's exciting. And we have a song on the charts. This is the second month that it's on the charts. I didn't even know that we'd made it on the charts last month because I'd just been kind of out of it with everything going on, not really paying much attention. But we have Bill from Masonville on the charts right now at the number 13 spot. So
cool.
Yeah, excited about that.
Yeah, great song. It's hanging in there, getting a lot of play. Yep.
Yeah, most definitely.
That's cool. The first two singles at Hills of Carter County and Bill from Masonville has been really good chart songs.
Yeah, and we've been getting a lot of really good response from Bill from Masonville. You know, because it's just that catchy.
Yeah.
Melody that gets stuck in your head.
Kinda,
it's kind of got the the fiddle tune dance vibe to it. You know, it's just a fun song, and Don really wrote a good one there.
Yeah,
and of course that's about his dad.
Yeah.
So yeah, great song, great story, and love to see it. I'm happy to see it getting some chart action.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Good stuff. Well, looks like you got busy stuff coming up for sure, and going to be a busy week. So,
yep.
If you haven't had a chance to check us out on our Facebook page at the Hometown Bluegrass Show, we've been trying to do better at posting content. We've been recording some guitar tips and little segments of songs and kickoffs and turnarounds and even some full length songs. So be sure and check that out. And so you can learn how to be a better guitar player. Might help you out, maybe.
Yeah, it might.
Maybe I probably need to watch them.
Yeah, you should. You should check those out.
Exactly.
Oh,
exactly.
Goodness. That's funny.
Yep. Absolutely.
Oh, I saw our very cool half-page ad in Bluegrass Unlimited.
Yes. I was just about to mention that as we go to break here and talk about our sponsors. So, Miss Teresa Anglin got her copy of Bluegrass Unlimited magazine and sent me a picture of our ad. So if you get Bluegrass Unlimited magazine, we've got a big half-page color, beautiful ad in there. Got our ugly mugs on there and advertising the podcast. So, be sure and check that out for sure, because if you love bluegrass music, then you need the Bluegrass Unlimited magazine. It's the leading magazine for bluegrass fans since 1966, published by the Bluegrass Music Hall of Fame and Museum in Owensboro, Kentucky. It's a monthly magazine, and it features exclusive interviews, music reviews, festival news, and more from the world of bluegrass, delivered right to your door.
Yes, sir. From legendary artists to the next generation of pickers, Bluegrass Unlimited brings you closer to the music you love. Our listeners can use the promo code HOMETOWN for a discount when you subscribe today at bluegrassunlimited.com.
So go resubscribe. I did. I had let my subscription lapse a few months ago because I used to get every every copy, and I would leave them for you to take and read too.
I won't go get to read it.
And so I had let mine lapse, and then when we started doing this deal with them, I thought I better re-up my subscription too.
Yeah, no doubt.
So I had text Adam, the director of the Hall of Fame, and said we were talking about all that, and I said, well, at least you could do is send me a free copy so I can check out the our ad in there, and he goes, well, use the promo code hometown.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he got me good.
So you trying to get a free
I
one
was
out
trying
of
to
it,
get
huh?
one free
That's
copy.
just like you. You just try to get free stuff, don't
I just
you?
wanted one free copy so I can see the ad. You
A
know?
little inside joke there.
Yeah. I get it now. Yeah, that's just like me. Absolutely.
That is just like you, Tim.
Yep. Just a
Oh,
mooch.
my goodness.
Oh,
That's too funny.
Yep.
Oh, and tell everybody about our hopelessholler.com shop or hopelessholler.shop.
It's a bunch of shop. Oh, yes. Go get some Hometown Bluegrass Show merchandise from hopelessholler.shop.
We got swag, baby.
We got swag, and you need it too. So for shirts and hats and cups and stickers and weed eaters and styrofoam minter buckets and all kind of stuff, we got it on there. So check it out at hopelessholler.shop. And speaking of our good buddy Mark Rogers, we're going to have him on next week. McEwen guitar picks. You like them, don't you?
I love them. Those are practically the only things that I'm using anymore.
I used mine last night.
Did you?
Yes, sir.
Well, good. It's not McQuan, just so everybody
Yeah,
knows.
Ron Block.
It is McEwen, but it is spelt like McQuan. MC Big Q UAN. McEwen
That's right.
guitar picks.
Yes.
The best there is, in my humble opinion.
McEwenpicks.com.
In my humble, maybe not so humble opinion.
That's all right. You deserve to have a non-humble opinion when it comes to guitar picks, for sure. So, all right, y'all. Well, thank you for tuning in. Hey, we got Joe Mullins coming up right after this, so don't go nowhere.
Hey, this is Josh Williams for Page Capos. The Page Capo is lightweight, durable, and quickly attaches and allows you to change frets with ease. With controlled tension capabilities, Page Capo always stays in tune. But don't just take my word for it. Page Capos is also used by folks like Vince Gill, Ron Block, Tim O'Brien, Cody Kilby, Tommy Emmanuel, and James Taylor. So don't trust just any capo. Use what the pros use. Listen to the Hometown Bluegrass Show podcast for your chance to win a Page Capo on every episode. Do what I do and trust Page Capos. Order online at pagecapo.com.
Looking for expert insurance advice from a team that truly knows Western Kentucky? At Paducah Insurance Agency, we're more than just policies. We're your neighbors, helping you protect what matters most. With locations in Paducah and Benton, Kentucky, we offer home, auto, business, and life insurance with top carriers like Erie Insurance, all at competitive rates. Locally owned and committed to your peace of mind, Jared Morgan and his team are here to help. Call Paducah Insurance Agency today at 855-853-4763 or visit paducahinsurance.com. Paducah Insurance, coverage you can count on from people you trust.
The Lake House Inn at Sled Creek has undergone complete renovation in 2023. Our outdoor space is unlike any other at Kentucky Lake. With 2 in-ground pools, 18 rooms, and 4 cabins, we're just a stone's throw away from Kentucky Dam. If you're looking to make memories with your family, this nostalgic inn is for you. Welcome to your lake house, where modern meets rustic and becomes home. Reserve online at lakehouseinn.com.
Howdy, friends. I'm Banjo Ben Clark, and you're listening to my good buddies Tim Batts and Josh Williams on the Hometown Bluegrass Show. You've tuned in because you like valuable conversation about the world's best music. And if you want more good stuff like that, come on over to my website, banjobenclark.com, where you can learn how to play and purchase anything you might need when it comes to bluegrass-related instruments and accessories. My Gold Pick members over there can access hundreds of lessons for banjo, guitar, and mandolin with all kinds of resources to help you move on down the road with your picking skills. And if you're looking to purchase something, the deals can't be beat at Banjo Ben's General Store. All there on the same website, banjobenclark.com. Now back to the show.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the Hometown Bluegrass Show. We do thank our great sponsors for helping keep bluegrass music alive and well right here in the bluegrass state of Kentucky. And so thankful for Page Capos and Paducah Insurance, Lake House Inn and Resort, and Banjo Ben. So thank you guys for being a part of the Hometown Bluegrass Show. But we are really excited as who's a part of the Hometown Bluegrass Show right now. We've got Mr. Radio Man himself, Mr. Joe Mullins. How are you, sir?
I'm blessed, Tim. Thanks for having time for me. Thanks for playing bluegrass, including the radio Ramblers or something else I'm on. Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you and all you guys do, and taking a few minutes to talk to me and old Josh. Josh is jealous of your banjo playing. He's been playing the banjo with Rhonda Vincent a little bit at the Grand Ole Opry.
Yeah, can you believe that,
he needs
Joe?
some lessons.
That's how rough it's gotten down here these days. Is she can't find
times are hard.
Feast or famine.
There's 77 good banjo pickers in Nashville.
Yeah, and I'm not one of them. Yeah, that's right.
She has to call Paducah and get the bag.
Makes Josh drive 2 hours to go pick a banjo on.
Well, she doesn't make Josh drive 2 hours. Josh happily drives those 2 hours.
Oh,
now, when I saw the kids group at the IBMA Awards show about 34 years ago.
Ooh, easy on that number.
Was you playing the banjo or you playing the banjo, wasn't you?
I sure was, yeah. Yep.
Okay, and Michael on the fiddle, Cleveland, of course, and Cody on the guitar.
Yeah,
and
Cody
Feely on the mandolin.
Yeah, now there was, when we did the song Wheelhouse, Cody at one point picks up the banjo, but then puts it back down and grabs the guitar again. The initial idea on that was that I was going to pick up the guitar when he picked up the banjo. And during that time, I had focused my time so much on banjo and mandolin that I didn't feel comfortable doing that on guitar. And so it just ended up, we just didn't have a guitar for a few minutes. And Feely ended up playing the little G run, which is really funny because if you really analyze it, he missed the first one big time. He like played a G sharp or something. It was awesome. Do. It was like just way off.
Hit the B string.
Yeah. So, but anyway, Cody played a banjo solo, only the front half, and it seems like somebody did a twin part with, maybe it was Mike and Chris was doing a twin part or something like that.
Them two's always been show offs.
Yeah, I know it.
Yeah.
I know.
Well, and it seems like, I've been in the radio business programming bluegrass and country music for a long time. And it seems like the first recording that came with Josh Williams' name on it, you might have been 14 or 15, and you're surrounded by all the instruments. You're trying to play the guitar, the banjo, the mandolin, all three or something like that. Is that right?
So that is actually Cody. And that's where there's so many people make this mistake, and my own mother ended up doing it once, so don't feel bad by any means, because Cody and I are both used to it. In fact, just this past IBMA, I went into the trade show, and one of the guys that was part of Callings wanted me to come over and hang out, and I was like, oh, that's nice. Why? Like, is there a reason? He's like, well, you're Cody. You play one of our guitars. I'm like, I'm not Cody. But so Cody came out with an album called Just Me, I think's what it was called, and he had there was pictures of him. Each picture was him playing a different instrument, but they were all standing together like they were in a band, and it was all him. Well,
what's the first thing you released, though?
The first thing that I did, which, Cody and I were both doing records or cassettes, back when we were little kids. But the first thing that I ended up coming out with was I had a local group at home. We had 2 albums that were released on Copper Creek Records. And in fact, if I remember correctly, Rebel did Cody's album. I think Rebel was on his, which, Gary Reed, had part of both of those things.
He was the production coordinator for Rebel, and then he owned Copper Creek.
Yes, exactly. So, but there was 2 albums. I did a one that was a secular album when I was about 12, and then I did another one when I was about 15 or 16. That one was all gospel, and we had Don Rigsby singing on it. and Barbara Lamb was playing fiddle on a couple of things, and it was a all gospel record. And but past that, now another thing that we did, there was a continuation of the Bluegrass Youth All Stars. They ended up changing the name, and New Haven Records ended up putting a record out on us, and that was me and Katie Penn and Wade Butler and Jonathan Jones and Joey Gibson, and that was called the Young Acoustic All Stars. That may be what you're thinking of.
It just seems like I've got something laying around from 30-some years ago with you holding a banjo.
I'm sure that's true. Yeah, there's definitely something like that, because that was my primary instrument until, when I graduated high school. I went on the road with Special C, playing mandolin and fiddle then.
Fiddle?
I know it, right?
I never seemed to be. Well, I'm glad Tim called me so I could interview you.
Yeah, I'm glad he did too.
Yeah, this is great. I feel like a third wheel. Do y'all want to get a room or something? No.
Oh my goodness,
that's great.
Enough about me, Joe. How's things with you?
So how's Daniel? We'll talk about Daniel now.
Daniel's got it made. Daniel's got the prettiest kid in Ohio. My granddaughter Daisy is Daniel's little girl. She'll be 2 in October.
Yeah.
She'll have a sister by then too. So
goodness, congratulations.
That all precipitated a variety of things. Precipitated me getting off the road from working full time and leading a band for 20 years. So blessed, had great players. We did 13 albums over 20 years and played every good stage, and very, very thankful and blessed. But I'm fortunate not only to have a thriving family life, I've got a thriving radio business as well. Tim mentioned me being a broadcast guy. I bought a local radio station in Xenia, Ohio, just east of Dayton, 31 years ago. And less than 10 years later, I own 2 more in adjacent counties. And so I've been fortunate to assemble a network. I own 3 AM and 3 FM frequencies, all within about 40 miles of Dayton, Ohio, and lets me cover all of southwestern Ohio. And it's a simulcast network, got 3 AM channels, 3 FM channels, and online as well. We're fortunate to have a great presence with in every digital space. People listen on the app on their smartphones and tablets, or tell Alexa, play Real Roots Radio.
That's right.
And Daniel was instrumental in us renaming the radio network about 8 or 9 years ago. We were classic country radio for years because our format, we've always played more country than bluegrass, but bluegrass has been a big part of what we do, classic and current bluegrass. But we played a lot of Buck Owens and George Jones and Waylon Willie and Dolly all along. And then even these days, Chris Stapleton and Zach Top and all the rest that are good and rootsy. And we changed the format around a little bit with Daniel becoming a part of the team every day to Real Roots Radio, because that does allow us to have a better position to play bluegrass and newgrass and Americana music and singers and songwriters, and alongside of a lot of country. You still hear a whole lot of Haggard and Jones on our stations.
Hey, nothing wrong with that, man. That's great. And I still proudly wear my Real Roots Radio T-shirt.
Yeah, that's great. Well, we pass those out to everybody and his brother in the bluegrass world between our activities with IBMA, between our activities with our radio studio, having a performance space now. We've had a few dozen of the top touring bands in bluegrass pop in over the last couple of years since we built a new studio that's, again, got a good performance space. So we have folks live on the air or live online quite often. Danny Paisley and the boys are in next week. We've had Dell and the boys and Rhonda and her bunch 2 or 3 times, and the Poe Ramblin' boys and the Malpas brothers. And so it's great to have people pop in to visit and have a live performance space. And then we are live on the air with personality-driven radio from 6 a.m. till 6 p.m. every day, only automated during the nighttime hours. And that music mix is really good. even when we're not live in studio. But it's old-fashioned radio. And since I'm not touring full-time, I took the morning slot. I'm on 6 a.m. to 9 a.m., and it's live news and weather and sports headlines and the farm news. And I do commercials for everybody from the insurance agent to the furniture store to the Chevrolet dealership and the meat market and the garden center, and blessed with a huge variety of local sponsors. And I play a really good mix of great country from the last 75 years alongside some bluegrass and an inspirational song every hour. Mm-hmm. And every now and then you hear Josh Williams somewhere along there. So.
I was going to say, we have a great studio space here in our studio for live performances, but the only person I can get here live is Josh.
That's very true. Well, yeah. So, well, and let me just say congratulations, Joe, because I know that you have a growing business there, but also having led the radio Ramblers for which I can't even believe that it was 20 years that you had such a amazing career, and it was your second time around, I know, because I grew up a huge fan of the traditional grass. So
well, thank you.
Yeah, big kudos and congratulations to you for having such a great career. And I know that you're spending some much needed but yet much appreciated and much enjoyed time with grandbabies. Mm-hmm. So that's important.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I'm liable to show up and play a banjo on a record for somebody or put something out again myself one of these days. But it's been a dual career pretty much all along. I first started on radio at 16 years old, 44 years ago, and I first played on stage and got paid for it 44 years ago. I was 16. First time I played Bean Blossom with my dad, and people clapped, and I got paid, and I said, wow, this is cool. So
yeah.
I've done both for all those years, and I was part of three really good bands. The Traditional Grass band I grew up with my dad, and a really good singer and guitar player named Mark Rader. We put out some good records, played every stage in the country in the 80s and 90s. And when I bought my first radio station, Traditional Grass disbanded because I anchored myself to the radio studio in Xenia when I bought my first station. But the band Longview came along at just the right time. Mm-hmm. Dudley Connell and Don Rigsby had called me in like 94 and said, Rounder wants an all-star album of smack you in the face traditional bluegrass, and we want you to do the banjo picking, help us find some songs. And I said, absolutely. So that was me and Dudley and Don and the late James King. We drafted Glenn Duncan and Marshall Wilburn and had us a pretty good little run right there with 3 special event albums with that lineup. And the first album was such a huge hit. It won a couple of IBMA awards right out of the chute. And we wound up as a special event band. We wound up assembling probably at least 10 times a year, playing festivals, and did a couple little mini tours as Longview. So that kept me from falling out of the national spotlight and falling off the radar as far as banjo music. And then I expanded my radio network and launched the Radio Ramblers off the strength of what I've done on radio regionally. That's how the name came about. With playing bluegrass in mainstream commercial radio in a market as good as Southwestern Ohio, I had grabbed a few pickers from any neighborhood and thrown together a band. We'd be the WBZI Bluegrass Band and play at a car lot or a Quilton Bee or a county fair, even in the late 90s and early 2000s. And my dad could still play the fiddle some and was on my radio network his last 10 years. And he became disabled by about 04 and couldn't fiddle anymore. And then he had to retire completely from being on radio early in 05, passed away in 08. After Dad had been gone from the stage and from the radio studio for a year, I still had demand more than ever because I had expanded to 3 radio stations instead of 1. Mm-hmm. And I thought, well, if I'm going to have to go out and meet the demand to have some entertainment, a lot of times they would call if it was a community theater or a county park or a civic center, they would call and say, we want bluegrass entertainment. We have a budget, and we'll need you to do the promotion and coordinate it and MC it. If they had a budget was big enough, I'd call Rhonda Vincent, or I'd call Doyle Lawson, or I'd call, the Lost and Found back in the day, or whomever, Ricky Skaggs. But if they didn't have a budget that could afford Rhonda or Ricky, maybe they could afford Joe Mullins and the Radio Ramblers. And so
there you go.
That's how the band started. I got some really good local pickers, singers, and songwriters, and I said, okay, let's rehearse to where if I got to go on stage with a band, we look like we know what we're doing, and we can do something besides Head Over Heels and Salty Dog Blues and Rank Stranger. Let's go out there and let's create a band. And so we did local stuff, 06, 7, 8, and second album we put out was good, and it started selling and getting some airplay. And Rebel said we'd like to have that album. At the time, Rebel Records still had the Freeman family owned county sales, and they started getting orders for Radio Ramblers music. And Dave Freeman and I, who's gone now, Bluegrass Hall of Famer, we were great friends, and he said we'd like to buy the Radio Ramblers album, Ramblers Call, and do distribution on it. And I said, okay, give me a contract to do a gospel album, put them out back to back, and do full promotion on them. And that really put us in business. We went from playing 40 dates a year in 2 or 3 states to playing 80 to 100 dates a year everywhere, starting in 2011.
Yeah.
So what's
that's when me and you started seeing each other a lot, because I got Rhonda record a song with me on that gospel album.
That's
we
right.
had a gospel hit called "We Missed You in Church" last Sunday.
Yeah, Rhonda. Well, for the longest time, we were doing that song on stage ourselves because Sally was singing it. But every time, she would plug you guys' recording of it. So. Yeah, and that was a great recording, too, by the way, that you guys had done, which I've never known you to put out a bad recording. You've always had such a good ear. You've always had, a great idea of what you wanted it to sound like, and it's always been good. I mean, some people would have, one album that they felt like was okay, and, like you mentioned, like maybe your first album or whatever, your second one. But as you guys got on, you had that idea of what you wanted, plus having the traditional grass background that you grew up with and played in all those years. You knew what you wanted it to sound like, and you guys always achieved that. And that's a big feather in your cap.
Well, you got to be honest with yourself, and you got to know the difference in good and bad. And it either is or it ain't. It's either good or it ain't. And that's what I was always tough on myself when I would walk off stage. I don't care if we played a bluegrass festival in the middle of nowhere, or played the Grand Ole Opry. I was always scrutinizing every note I played and sang and everything I said when I came off stage, because I was fortunate to grow up in a household that promoted bluegrass on radio and on stage. Dad was a good fiddle player for a long time and was with good bands, played on good records, and he promoted the bluegrass constantly on radio. And when you grow up with Ralph Stanley or Don Reno or the Osborne brothers sitting around the kitchen table, you know the difference in good and bad. So if I don't care who's in the band or what piece of material you want to tackle, if you try it a few times and it ain't working, you set it aside and find something else.
Yeah.
And you play to your strengths. And so I was so fortunate that the first version of the Radio Ramblers had good players and guys that could sing. And vocals are a distinguishing characteristic of any great bluegrass band. There's good pickers. Well, there was good pickers when you were 12 years old. You were a good picker, but you became a great singer within the next 10 or 15 years, and that's how come Josh Williams, the Josh Williams Band, Josh Williams part of Rhonda Vincent and the Rage, and now with the band you and Rixby are promoting, the vocals get the attention. And so Adam McIntosh and Mike Terry in my band originally, we wound up with a good trio.
Absolutely.
And if you get attention, when you get good songs and you can sing them well, it sounds good on radio, and it'll captivate an audience on stage. So, I always loved the gospel stuff too.
Oh, of course, yeah. And you've always been one of my favorite tenor singers. I just want you to know, because I remember having, which in fact, one of my very first solo album that I put out with Rigsby as the producer, which would have been 2001. I had an old traditional grass song on there, and I did basically y'all's arrangement even of "You Can Keep Your 9-Pound Hammer." That I
really?
had, yeah, sure enough, and got to meet Pete Goebel, because I ended up doing that song a lot and recording it and stuff. And one distinct thing I remember about y'all's version is the last verse. You guys mentioned Mark had sang "If You're Ever Down in Eddiesville," and down here, it's Eddyville. It doesn't have the S in it. And when I mentioned that to Pete, he said, I did not know that. And he said, I've just always had it written like an apostrophe S or whatever, and go ahead and sing it like you want it, like it's supposed to be. And but when I was, going through all that stuff, but then when I first heard there was a song that was Springtime, When the Springtime Comes on the Mountain. You were singing
that's high as a poor man's
Yes,
grocery bill,
it sure was, man. And I remember watching you do that live and thinking, there is very few people in the world that could do that as good as you did and do it live. And you've just always been one of my favorites, man. And I want you to know that. And I mean it.
God bless you, Josh. Thank you. That Longview called that Little Annie. Me and
Little
Doug
Annie,
sang
yes.
that. The second Longview album was called High Lonesome. It came out in about 99. And we learned that from the Lilly Brothers. That's an old song called When the Springtime Comes Again. For some reason, we called it Little Annie. But yeah, that was screaming high. I appreciate that. When you're young, you can get in there and get it, whether it's the singing or the picking. It was easy back then, We did the first Longview album. I had just turned 30 years old. And it was easy from the time I was 30 till I was about 50.
Yeah,
I have had to work at it the last 10 or 12 years.
Well, I understand, man. There's that's some high notes, man. That really is some high notes. And that's the Del McCurry zone. I think the one in that is in E. So you're hitting that B wide open when you go to that 5 chord. And it's way on up there. Thankfully, as I aged this past several years, the last 4 albums of the Radio Ramblers, or maybe half a dozen, Jason Berry on the fiddle really made it easy on me instrumentally. And Chris Davis on the mandolin the last several years. Adam McIntosh was back in the band on the guitar. And instrumentally, those guys could do anything. So an old guy could get by with the banjo part if I had to kick it off or end it or take a break. I could figure that part out. And vocally, they were all really strong anyway. Every man in the band could sing any part. So I'm very fortunate. Those 3 bands over 40 some years. And so taking care of buses and booking agents and record labels and publicists and photo shoots, it'll wear you out if you do it right. Yeah, absolutely.
And that's 75% of what you do. Only 25% of it standing around on a stage in front of a good crowd.
Yep.
And that other 75% was exhausting at my age, since I had to hit the ground running at my radio stations when I get back in town. If a band goes out and plays 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 really good shows, when you get home, oftentimes you can get off the grid and rest a few days. But I'm blessed to have a thriving regional radio network that needed just as much attention as soon as I got home as anything else. So these days it's radio, still promoting good bluegrass festivals. And today, as we are chatting on the 29th day of July, today we began promotion for my fall festival, which you've been to many times. We use the Roberts Convention Center. The Roberts Center is right between Cincinnati and Columbus, right in the heart of my radio region in southwestern Ohio. It's right beside I-71 at exit 50. It's a gorgeous convention center, and we have packed it out every November for many, many years. And my radio network, and Daniel and I will produce the Industrial Strength Bluegrass Festival, November like 12, 13, 14 this fall. And the Queen will be there. Rhonda's back. She helps headline that show at least every other year.
Yeah.
Blue Highway and Pitney Meyer and Nothing Fancy and the Cody Norris Show and High Fidelity. A lot of our favorites are back at the Roberts Center this fall.
Yeah.
Well, great. And now you incorporated a new outdoor festival this year as well, didn't you?
Well, I did it last year and this year. If you remember, and you probably don't, I know how you are. You just rode the bus and did your gig. We had the we had the Roberts Center Festival. We did it spring and fall. We did March and November for a long time. And I thought, there's a lot of folks that want to camp out and jam around the fire. And our region lost some good outdoor festivals over the last half a dozen years. So we stopped doing March at the Roberts Center a couple of years ago. And last year and this year, both, we did a summer festival just a couple of weeks ago. We did mid-July the last 2 years. We used the fairgrounds in Xenia, Ohio, for the Industrial Strength Bluegrass Summer Fest. And it was a lot of fun. We got a good footprint for an outdoor festival and had a packed lineup there the last 2 summers. But coming up November, we're back at the Roberts Center for years ago when you first came. We called it the Southern Ohio Indoor Music Festival.
Yeah, that's right.
And that name was a real drag. My wife and a dozen others on my inner circle, they said, man, that name is pathetic. Where'd you come up with that? And I said, well,
that's what it was.
If we want to have a country band or have a gospel band or an old time band or a comedian, we can do that without just pigeonholing everything bluegrass. But then, I was part of a book and then produced an album about Ohio's bluegrass history. And the book was put together by some scholars from Miami University of Ohio and Fred Bartenstein, a longtime bluegrass historian. And Daniel and I both contributed a chapter to a book that came out about 6 years ago called Industrial Strength Bluegrass, Southwestern Ohio's Musical Legacy. And when I found out this book's going to be published, all about bluegrass in Cincinnati and Dayton and Middletown and Xenia and Springfield, the Southwest Ohio neighborhood, found out a book was going to be published. I said, man, we need to do an album by that title, Industrial Strength Bluegrass. And Smithsonian gave me a contract as a record producer and got songs out of the catalog of songs that had some connection to Cincinnati and Dayton and my neighborhood here. Songs, everything from Flatt and Scruggs to Tom T. Hall to Larry Sparks. And you were on that record.
I was. Thank you very much for having me on that, by the way. That was the first time I ever got to sing with Russell Moore.
That's really a good album. And that cut, you and Russell sang on a medley we did to Larry Sparks. You got you and Kenny Smith playing guitars and vocalists, including you and Russell Moore and Bradley Walker.
Bradley Walker, yeah.
On one cut, a medley of Sparks hits, and that's a good album. Well, and we were very blessed. The album won Album of the Year for IBMA in 2021. We got it out that year. And it's a 16-song album that's just an all-star cast on there from all those folks I just named to the Isaacs and Rhonda Vincent and Vince Gill and Leanne Womack. Leanne Womack singing a Dave Evans song. That'll curl your hair. It's great.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. So I was very blessed to get the opportunity to produce an album that tells a whole lot of the history from whence I came. I grew up here in the heartland. I said my dad was on radio and playing fiddle and promoting concerts. And, we had the Country Gentlemen and the Goins Brothers and the Clinch Mountain Boys and everybody in and out of the house the whole time I was growing up, because Southwestern Ohio is a hotbed. If you've got a bluegrass band that has a following in my neighborhood, at least in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, you had to have a following in Southwestern Ohio. It helped make your career. The late Eddie Adcock, one of the classic country gentlemen, him and my dad were great friends, and we'd hit IBMA and And Eddie would throw his arm around me, and he says, "Man, when the country gentleman could leave D.C. and head the bus to Ohio, we knew we were going to have a crowd because your daddy was wearing us out on the radio."
Mm-hmm.
And he said it kept us from starving to death a couple of times in the 60s to come to Ohio and sell thousands of records because people heard them on the radio. And it wasn't just my dad. Our region was responsible for helping launch the careers of the Osborne brothers, Red Allen, Hilo Brown, Frank Wakefield, Larry Sparks, and Jim and Jesse. First time Jim and Jesse left Coburn, Virginia, to work on radio and make records, they landed in Middletown, Ohio, right where I grew up. That's the first place J.D. Crowe played with Jimmy Martin, the radio station in Middletown, Ohio, right where I grew up. So there's just legendary Bluegrass Hall of Famers and recordings and recording studios and venues that really helped solidify bluegrass as a commercial market. First time it got off the front porch, now the hills and hollers. A lot of people in Cincinnati and Dayton got to hear bluegrass.
Yeah, that's amazing, man. And what a cool story you get to tell because of that upbringing, that you got to be around all of those guys. You know, that's the stuff that books and stories and stuff are made of, because, you know, there's so few people that get to be able to say that.
Mm-hmm.
I was very fortunate. Like I say, my dad, as a broadcast personality and a fiddler, he was in the studio or on stage or playing somebody's latest record on the radio the whole time I was growing up. And big Appalachian migration. People in Kentucky and West Virginia and East Tennessee that needed jobs after World War II, they came to southwestern Ohio. They came to Cincinnati and Dayton, Ohio, and all the surrounding area by the tens of thousands in the 40s and 50s and 60s. And my dad was one of them. He started on radio in eastern Kentucky in 1960. And you guys had a hit about Carter County. The first radio station in Carter County, Kentucky, went on the air in December of 59. My dad became one of their personalities in January of 1960.
Wow.
After working for the Stanley brothers, he came back to Kentucky and went to work on the radio right there. And by the summer of 64, he moved to Middletown, Ohio, which had a station that was part of country music history already. That station had been established in the late 40s. And it's first place Bobby and Sonny ever played and sang on the radio, and Hilo Brown and Red Allen, right on down the list. And they brought my dad there in 64. And he reached all of Cincinnati and Dayton, playing country and bluegrass on the radio. And he wound up with a cult following. And there was already an audience here of people like him, people that had left Kentucky, starved to death, come up here because of the industry, come up here and got a good job at General Motors or National Cash Register or Procter & Gamble or Armco Steel. And man, they got to hear the Stanley brothers and Marty Robbins and Connie Smith and the Osborne brothers on the radio and hear somebody talk just like them. And they loved it. So my dad was huge as a broadcaster. Matter of fact, his work as a broadcaster and a fiddler and a promoter, he's now a Hall of Fame member. They put Dad in the Hall of Fame just a couple years ago.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and much well deserved too.
Absolutely.
Well, that's the household I grew up in. I grew up in a household that had, it had pickers around the coffee table or the kitchen table night and day, and Dad on the radio playing, all the current hits that I got to hear growing up. I was paying attention to what was going on by the late 60s as a kid. And oftentimes Dad would have a studio copy of the latest album by J.D. Crowe or the Country Gentlemen or Ralph Stanley and the Clinch Mountain Boys. And then he would be emceeing a show or working a festival with these guys. They would hand him another copy of it. He'd bring it home, and that went to my bedroom.
Nice.
So by the time I was 5 years old, man, I had a record player and a cassette recorder and a guitar. That was my world, was soaking up everything bluegrass and trying to learn how to pick a little bit. And I gravitated to the banjo when I was about 12 or 13. And that really spoiled my whole world.
That can happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Then I'm locked in there in front of that record player with everything flat and Scruggs for the next 10 years. So.
Yeah. But I'm so glad that all that happened, because you're banjo playing and you're singing and even all the work that you've done in radio is all going to stand the test of time. And in my humble opinion, hopefully guarantee your spot as well, just like your dad in the Hall of Fame, because that would be very deserved. So thank you for everything that you have done.
Well, see, Josh, I wasn't good enough at one of them to pay for a house and put kids through college. So I had to do all three.
Well,
I had to be on the radio and running a band and promoting shows to make a living, to do all.
That's why Josh plays banjo and guitar and mandolin and everything.
Yeah. Well, there's few people that get to do that. You get to literally work on all sides of the music business.
Yeah.
And most of us only get to see one, maybe two, but you've been the radio personality, you've been the station manager and the owner and all that, but you've also been the band leader and the booking agent, and you've been the promoter at the festivals, and you've done it all, man. So
Jack of all trades,
you've done it well.
none.
You haven't just done it, you've done it very well.
Yeah.
Well, very, very blessed, blessed with opportunities, and just a workaholic enough to get them all done. And I am very blessed. I'm the only guy in the world that from IBMA won the award for Entertainer of the Year, Broadcaster of the Year, Event of the Year for our festival, and Producer of the Album of the Year. So as a producer, a presenter, a broadcaster, and an entertainer, I've been blessed, very blessed.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's an amazing feat for sure. I want to give a shout out to your amazing son, Daniel, real quick, because Josh and I, when we were talking about doing this podcast in October of 2023, we were at a festival that I do in Calvert City, Kentucky. And I said, man, I want to do a bluegrass podcast. I said, I think you should do it with me. And Josh said, yeah, man, let's do it. And the first phone call I made was to Daniel, because he was, I knew I had listened to his podcast and stuff, and you guys on the radio, and he was so helpful and encouraging to, start it. Here's what I do. And he really helped me. So I just want to give Daniel a big thank you for that, because he was very instrumental in me having the courage for us to get this going. And we've just had a blast, haven't we, Josh?
Yeah, we absolutely have.
Sure.
Yeah. So
Daniel's a great guy. He's got a ton of talent, and he's currently the Broadcaster of the Year for the International Bluegrass Music Association. He's been nominated a time or two, won it last year, and he's won awards for his writing too. He's written liner notes for a couple dozen hit albums the last 10 years or so, and clever guy, passionate about it, man. He loves the music. He loves the pickers and the people, and he's a good presenter of all things bluegrass. And he couldn't help it. He's been hanging around a radio station.
Yeah.
He started on radio. He graduated high school when he was only 17, and started college that fall. Pardon me. And I said, okay, I think I got my first FM channel, which was 24 hours a day. And I said, all right, you got to learn how to be on the air. I put him on Sunday nights at 10 p.m. Sunday nights at 10 o'clock. I said, ain't nobody listening on Sunday night at 10 o'clock. You can't do any harm. Yeah. You can't mess it up too bad. But he had just started college, and he found out that there were, folks, our radio network hits a half a dozen college campuses right here in the region. And he said, man, there's people listening. And that's when he, at that time, started playing Nickel Creek. All the younger newgrass artists, and people were paying attention. Mm-hmm. So he's helped evolve our whole radio network now over the past dozen years. And I'm grateful for his work.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's pretty amazing. Well, I want to close out with something real quick, Joe, and I'm throwing you on the spot here, but Josh and I did this thing with Josh about a year ago, and I was doing that name that tune thing, and I was throwing these songs at him and trying to get him to guess it because he knows songs so well. And then you and Daniel have been doing that a lot lately, and it's been very entertaining to watch. And so here.
Well, let's be clear. You gave me like what 5 seconds or something, or 3 seconds of a song.
Right.
He's getting 3 notes.
I know it.
You know.
But here's what we're going to do to even this up. I'm going to play a couple of songs, but we're going to do just Tony Rice songs to give Josh a fighting chance.
This name that tune thing, it has went pretty viral, I guess, online. That was Daniel's idea.
Yeah.
Well, and it was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
That's why how fast you're catching those, even just from a fiddle going din, din, din. And then you're not only naming the song, but you're telling who's playing on the session, what year it was cut.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
We started doing it a year ago, and we didn't go viral.
It's kind of sick. Like I say, I was holed up with a record player and a stack of. I had them all. I had LPs, 45s, and 78s all in my bedroom before I was 5 years old.
Yeah.
And then I've been on radio since I was 16, so I've heard this stuff over and over and soaked it up and been a student of it. But Daniel saw some country radio program director online somewhere doing this name that tune thing, doing like 90s country.
Uh-huh.
And he says, we got to come up with that for the bluegrass world. You need to do that. And I said, okay. So about every other Thursday, I'm in studio with him during his bluegrass hour daily, and he's hard on me, man. He digs out all kinds of weird stuff.
Well, I'm
going
to be easy on you because I want to give Josh a fighting chance.
I don't have one with him, man. He's the master at it.
Yeah, so we're gonna go first. And this song, real quick, I'm just gonna play a few seconds of it, and you just shout out the answer when you know it. Y'all not gonna race. I'm just gonna do you, and then I'm gonna do Josh. But you did this song the other day, and so tell me what this song is right here.
That's Blue Railroad Train.
Yeah,
I mean, everybody knows that.
Exactly. So I was trying to get you going here. So I should have gave Josh that one first. So we'll give you an easy one here, Josh. Ready?
Cold on the shoulder.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. All right, Mr. Joe, here you go.
Is that a Tony Rice record?
Yes, all these are Tony Rice songs.
Yeah, that's that little fiddle kickoff right there. Do it one more time.
All right, hang on just a second here.
That's Song for Life.
Yeah, there it is. There you go. Yeah,
I don't drink as much as I used to.
That's right.
Rodney Crowell song.
Sure enough.
Yeah, I love that song. It's probably one of my favorite Tony songs.
You know, another great one that they ended up doing that he wrote, was the Home Sweet Home Revisited.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, that's one of the first cuts he got, I think.
Yeah.
So good.
Crowell's got a huge catalog of great songs, and that Song for Life, it's been cut deep by a lot of people.
Yeah.
Just about every genre.
Sting did it, and Bobby Osborne did it, and it's a good song.
Yeah. All right, Josh, and put you on the spot here. This is your bandmate, Mike England's favorite song.
That's Shadows.
Yeah. All right, Mr. Joe.
All Tony Rice.
Yes.
Oh, that's and I'm playing against one of the top guitar players, a guy that toured with Tony Rice.
I'm trying to give him a fighting chance.
Right.
All right, here you go, Joe.
Oh, I bet.
That's deep.
That is, yeah.
He's got that thing tuned down. That ain't Bluegrass Album Band either. That's one of the left-handed songs.
That's right, yeah. Yeah,
bet Josh knows it. Go ahead, Josh. What is it?
Well, that's after he lost his voice. So he ended up cutting the Shenandoah.
Yeah, that's Shenandoah.
That's Shenandoah.
Yeah, that's
there
right.
you go.
That's right. All
yeah.
Right. All right.
One of them 10-minute versions.
Yes, exactly right.
All right, we'll do one more each. Here we go, Mr. Joe.
Church Street Blues.
No, sir.
Boy, that's close though.
No.
There's a very similar lick there on the front. Play
it is.
Play
it
him,
is.
Play him one more beat of it, and he'll get it with that first chord.
It's that 6 minor in there, don't he, Josh? So, I don't know. I'm stumped.
What is it, Josh?
What is it, Josh?
In the early morning rain.
The early morning rain.
Yeah.
A Lightfoot song.
Yep.
Yeah.
He cut about 30 of them Lightfoot songs, didn't he?
Yeah, and I seen who was it? It may have been Jordan Rice or somebody, but they had posted on Facebook when there was a picture of Tony and then another picture of Lightfoot, and they had added a picture of Bryan Cranston with a big mustache, and they said he said Tony Rice. He called him Walter White instead of Bryan Cranston, but he said, and Gordon Lightfoot, did you ever see those three people in the same place at the same time? No, you didn't. That's all I'm saying. And they did look oddly similar, you know?
That's great.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, man.
Last song.
What a great catalog of music.
Last song,
gosh,
and
yes.
this is going to be a good way to end it here. So you two shout out. The first one that knows it, you shout it out, and that's going to be our grand prize winner.
The grand prize winner. What do we
What do we win?
A new car, Johnny.
A new car.
All right, here we go.
Gosh, I know that. One more time.
I picked this song on purpose because it's got a double meaning. All right, here we go.
Oh, that's Banks of the Ohio.
Gotcha. I was dual meaning because it was a Tony Rice song and it was about Ohio. So,
There
of course,
you
the
go.
Ohio
Yeah.
River. But anyway.
Yeah. Well, that counts.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyway, well, good job, Joe. We'll call you the winner. How about that?
The master.
There you go.
Man, that's awesome. Well, Joe, thanks for taking the time to talk with us, man. We have had a blast. So fun. So fun.
Oh, yeah, man.
Well, thank you so much for being so kind and for promoting everything bluegrass and for including me. God bless you guys.
Oh, we
God
love
bless
it.
you.
And we love it, and we love you. So, thank you so much.
All right, fellas.
All right. Talk to you later.
All right. Bye-bye.
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 Oh, man, that was fun. That was fun. I was pulling for you, man.
Well,
I was trying.
I went, honestly, the very first thing that entered my mind when I heard it was in the key of F, and and I was wondering if it was going to go to another chord or if it was going to be a turnaround, because like the first thing that popped in my head was River of Death, but that's Bluegrass Album Band.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but when I heard it go to the 5, I figured that's what it was.
That's from old album there.
Old, yeah. That's the Green Album they call it.
Yeah, the Green Album.
That's the Plastic Banana album.
Oh, why they call it that?
Well, it's got a tune on there called Plastic Banana.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tune that he did with Grisman.
Yeah, cut number 4. That's cool.
Yep.
Oh, man. Well, that was cool. That was fun. This, man, what a legend in our music for sure.
Yeah, man,
So,
I really enjoyed that. I'm so glad that he took the time to be a part
we've been
of this
trying
with
to
us.
connect with him for several weeks, and our schedules finally aligned, so it was great.
Yep.
So, but anyway, well, good show, man. Good job. Hey, you held your own on Name That Tune with Joe. You did better than I
Well,
thought you
you kind of made it. You definitely catered towards me.
Hey, man.
But I appreciate
You're my buddy,
that.
man. I
but-
got to take care of you.
But
Plus
yeah.
you're sitting here and you could punch me. so. Oh, man. Well, that was great.
man.
Thank you so much to our great sponsors. We appreciate all you do
Yes,
for us.
absolutely.
And, we just want to give thanks again to Bluegrass Unlimited Magazine at the Bluegrass Hall of Fame and Museum. If you ever get a chance to go there, just take the time to take the family to the Bluegrass Hall of Fame. It's a wonderful place, and subscribe to Bluegrass Unlimited Magazine and buy yourself a McEwen guitar pick. We're going to talk to Mark next week, and you're going to learn more about them, but you're going to love them as soon as you strum it across your strings.
That's
for sure.
right,
So,
man. And I highly recommend them. Thank you also to our friends at Page Capos, BanjoBenClark.com, Lake House Inn, Paducah Insurance, and of course, the Hopeless Holler .shop, where you can pick up all of our really cool swag that we have here for the Hometown Bluegrass Show podcast.
That's right. And we got the coolest. So thank y'all for listening. And always remember, if you got time to breathe,
You got time for music.
bye-bye.
That's going to do it for this episode of the Hometown Bluegrass Show. Thanks for spending some time with your hosts, Tim Batts and Josh Williams. We hope you learned a little and laughed a lot. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode from the heart of bluegrass. Until next time, keep picking, keep grinning. Tim and Josh look forward to seeing you down the road.